You know, the sad truth is, this is like the fourth time I'm trying to like talk over this battle. I just can't get it right for whatever reason. Oh, but as you can see, Greenskin versus Greenskin. This is the tag team to end all tag teams. Well, in terms of the Greenskin realms. Oh, well, this was interesting in the sense that what the fuck happened, I have no idea. I would love to give you a tactical overview, but the reality is Greenskin versus Greenskin. There is no tactics, it's just smash and grab, and that's all it is. Although it did help the fact that my opponent's armies were kind of bizarre. And I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see, right, mine, Empty Thoughts and Dark Minnow's army is pretty standard for any rush army, a nice big thick line. Just to kind of, you know, overwhelm the enemy, get around the flanks, that type of thing. But on this flank he has no cavalry, on this flank he has a ton of cavalry. He has a ton of giants, he has a lot of artillery, a lot of skirmishers. He has some night goblins, but they're invisible. I mean, where did they go? So I'm going to have to go on this overview, I'm afraid, because if I go in cinematic mode you cannot see anything. But they've gone for a lot of stopping power, or a lot of punching power, but they've also got units that require defense or defending. Defensing, is that a word? And they've also gone for a lot of skirmishers, so this is kind of confusing because if you're going to bring artillery, usually you have to go for a defensive formation. Oh, there is night goblins are. But in terms of infantry, they have very little infantry, so it's, I don't know. I mean, our army was designed to overwhelm, and then Empty Thoughts' army was, you know, a lot of Arachnaroks and a giant, and he was meant to be the, you know, the punching power, whereas me and Dark Minnow were the holding power. And I don't really know what was going on. I mean, 6 giants is powerful, but not against like 27 biggins. I mean, biggins are going to pretty effectively kill giants. They're not that good. Then you have Doom Divers, which are great, but you have nothing protecting them. The only thing protecting them is a giant, which, Although it doesn't help the fact that I get Azag routed right at the start. I mean, Azag on a Wyvern is terrible unless he's the only guy alive, but or only flying unit around. But I'd rather bring him on foot. Empty Thoughts had the good idea of bringing Azag on foot, and his Azag last the entire game. So I guess I'm the wrong person here. So right, yeah, I made a huge mistake. My savages are engaged with Black Oaks and Biggins. I don't want them. I cannot have them dealing with infantry. I need them to deal with the goblins. So why I didn't just flank around? He has no cavalry, so I literally could have done what I wanted. I should have just kind of had my Biggins be the front line, then had the Black Oaks kind of support. No, what I should have done actually is had Black Oaks, a line of Black Oaks. I should have a line of Biggins like here, so I could charge the giants, and then I should had the savages on this side. So you can see I do eventually kind of side charge the goblins, but I mean they've done a lot of damage. They haven't gotten a lot of kills, but they've done a lot of damage in the sense that they've dropped the stats of my guys to where it's going to make it easier for his Biggins and his Black Oaks to beat my guys. So I do eventually get the savages in, but I should have got rid of these guys straight away. And so this flank eventually is going to get tied up, but it's only going to get tied up because of Empty Thoughts' giant. Had he not brought his giant in to help me out here, and had I, not killed these at a quicker rate, my flank would have just crumbled, especially with Azag gone. However, this on here, right, I had the idea that I was going to bring goblins, one unit of goblins, mainly because of stalk. So it just means that they can walk hidden wherever they want. And my idea was I was going to creep them around. They'd be hidden, then they would just kind of just sneak attack. The artillery, it doesn't happen mainly because the entire cavalry contingent of my opponent is right here. But I mean, they're getting 20. They've got 20 kills and haven't been touched. It's kind of confusing how they were managed to deal with boar boys. I mean, fair enough. There's the boar boys were busy with the Biggins, but it's kind of weird that these guys are, I think, the 4th highest killers on my team. It's so weird. Like, even the Wolf Riders did pretty well, which is, I mean, if you can get more than 10 kills with a Wolf Rider, I mean, you're pretty much a pro at the game, so congrats. So, yeah, it was a bit bizarre how well the Night Goblins did for being essentially attacked and counter-attacked, and, it wasn't the engagement that I wanted, but it was the engagement that I got, and they do eventually silence the Rock Lobber, which is great for me, I suppose. Not really. I mean, the battle's pretty much done now because, like I said, they have no holding power, but they had a lot of power units, which is bizarre. If you're going to bring a lot of giants, you have to have a lot of infantry. I mean, if you can see with, you know, the Ragnaroks and stuff, I mean, they have a lot of infantry to support them, whereas we brought all big uns because we knew that they were going to have a lot of big. We knew that we were going to have either Ragnaroks or Boboys or Giants, so our entire army was pretty much just big uns. I'll show you the armies. I mean, as you can see, right, look. Big uns, I mean, this infantry corps is incredibly, like, powerful. It can stay, it can defend, it can just power through things. I mean, look how good the savages did. I mean, yes, they killed a ton of goblins, but I mean, they killed them pretty quickly. And I mean, look how good the night goblins did compare. I mean, these big uns didn't even get kills. Yeah, these night goblins were just stabbing the shit out of Boboys, which was pretty hilarious. Azag did terrible, but I mean, MT's army, I mean, he didn't really have any infantry, but that was because he was supposed to be the punch, I guess, to our, I don't know, body, I guess. Does that make sense? Like, he's the knuckle dust out of our fist, I guess. I don't know. The whole point was he was going to do he was going to be the damage dealer, whereas me and Dark Minnow, if you look at both of our armies, a lot of big uns, no meat shields, just powerhouses. He had a little bit of goblins just in case he needed them, just in case they came across flyers and stuff. But if you look at their army, they have a little bit of staying power in this, but not a lot. They have a lot of goblin archers, some cavalry, doom divers, 6 giants, and then, I mean, so what? 1, 2, 6 infantry, really? I mean, 6 infantry between the 3 of them. So as you can see, it was kind of a bizarre kind of composition. You have a lot of punching power in the giants and the doom divers, and you have, you know, archers and cavalry, but you've got no infantry, which is really what made us kind of victorious, is the fact that we were just able to stay longer than he was, or they were. And I mean, if you think that how much they invested in giants and trolls, yet our main infantry was big uns, which have an anti-large bonus. So if you're going to do it, an orc versus orc type of situation, I'd recommend not bringing meat shields because they're not going to come in handy really at all. And I would go, your main line would be big uns, bring some savages just to deal with any meat shield types, and I wouldn't even bring any large really. I mean, a giant, I mean, we brought giants and Ragnaroks, but I mean, they didn't get that many. That Ragnarok did well, but the main kills were, you know, kind of infantry based, so that was a bit of a bizarre army. It was a bizarre battle. It's pretty fun doing, you know, ruthless aggression versus ruthless aggression, but these weren't really ruthless. They were just more kind of aggressive, kind of defensive. It was a little confusing. I guess they were just caught in 2 minds, and that's what you get versus, you know, communication versus probably no communication. So I probably said it before. If you're going to do tag team battles or triple team battles, you have to be talking. Otherwise, you're just gonna not do well unless the people that you're playing against are terrible. So there you go. That was just just an infantry clobber, knocker, duster. I don't even know what that word meant. So layers.